Nice to know you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, let's go and what? All right. Well, I wanted you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself because there's a lot of people who may not know you and they really need to know you because you are one of the Kansas City artists that gets outside of Kansas City and they play you in other cities.
Absolutely.
So you are one of the most impactful Kansas City artists that we have here, I feel.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Appreciate that.
And that's why I came to you and I was like, I want these artists on my show.
That's big.
Yeah.
Like she said, I'm the most impactful artist now.
Kansas
City, one of the most. My name's Marley Young.
Mm-hmm.
I go by Billy the Goat. I believe I'm the reason for a lot of careers in Kansas City. I help jumpstart, and not just rappers, just different ways, and I'm talking about all kind of you name it. But I've been doing this. I'm like a legend now at this time.
Yeah.
I started real young.
I
even
still
though
play
I'm still
Flexing
young.
on them and Drip Trip God. I love Drip Trip God. That's like my
favorite.
Right? Flexing on them is great.
That's one of my favorites. Yeah, I'm Billy. I'm Marley Young. The kid.
All right. So I know we wanted to go ahead and jump into topics.
Yeah.
The Kansas City People's Choice Awards. So for those of you who don't know, in Kansas City we have our own People's Choice Awards for various things, businesses, artists, performers of different kinds, and
hairstylists, barbers.
Hairstylists, barbers, show hosts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and let's talk about this. Let's open this can of worms.
All right.
What is your take on these awards? How do you feel? You're nominated. You're performing, right?
I'm performing. And I'm nominated. So obviously, I'm
you're part of it.
I go every year.
Yeah.
I probably missed 1 year, but I go every year. Last year we presented an award to Pt1, and I performed for that. Shout out to Ray. Terrell Ray hosts it.
Okay, yeah.
What I like the most about it, and I always try to look at stuff from both ways, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I like most about it is that he kind of puts a light on Kansas City. Mm-hmm. And I think anytime I seen a dude, I won't say his name, I can't even remember to be exact his name, but I know the dude, I'm not trying to shade him. Mm-hmm. But he was saying something in his live about how I was agreeing with him. He was like, Marley Young ain't dropped no music in like 2 years. How is he still nominated and won't and all that?
It is a little bit true. I thought about it.
Yeah, I even said the same thing in a post. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's Ray's fault because it's called the People's Choice Awards. It's not really about who Ray thinks is the best and who, you know what I'm saying? So I think it puts a light on people who still grinding and everything. I used to get annoyed when people would be like, in my days where I was trying to be the best. Be the best at everything I do. Like I'm a better rapper. I'm better. So when people would say like, "Oh man, Pt1 is the best rapper in Kansas City," I'm like, man, y'all can't keep calling him the best. You know what I'm saying? He's older now, but like Pt1 put in so much work, and people see him so much more than me. People, you know what I'm saying? He's a real legend. His body of work, it'll just put mine to shame.
Yeah, he is a legend.
So you have to remember that just because Jordan ain't playing no more. Don't mean when people say, who's the most famous basketball player, his name now keep getting mentioned.
Right.
So I take that in a sense of our level too. People be like, man, who's the hottest in Kansas City? Yeah, Marley Young dropped in about 2 or 3 years. And that's how good he was. Because people going to always say, Casey Young Balls. They're going to say D-Wall. They'll bring up, of course, Rich and Tech. But they're always going to say Marley Young is in there because it's not my fault. It's you guys' fault. You got to work harder. You know what I'm saying? It was my job to get my name mentioned above the ones that was before me.
Right.
All you gotta do is work harder. It's gonna happen. Because like you said, I haven't dropped in so long. So I like the awards for that reason. It's putting spotlight on everything. Even if I wanted to know about a facial or something, or I wanted to get my girl's hair done or something, there's people that got lights on them right now that I can go look up and check them out. It's something positive for Kansas City. It's probably a big job trying to do all that by itself. He started at Purcell High School and now it's at the Kaufman.
Right. That's true.
But I get it on both sides because sometimes I would be annoyed, like, oh man, I used to get nominated almost all the time. I think 1 year I didn't get nominated, and I'm like, oh man, how comes up? But I hadn't dropped my music. I was still, you know what I'm saying? So I be in my own feelings just like everybody else, but I think it's really the people's choice. I believe them. Me and Ray had times we butted heads and really didn't like each other, and I still was on the nomination. He wasn't like, oh, I don't like Marley, taking him off or what, you know what I'm saying? So I believe in it. I don't think I don't think really it helps him out to not do it the right way. You tell me your beef.
Oh, mine was just that I witnessed people nominate me for categories, and then I go and I'm all excited, right? I'm like, look, I saw these 3 people nominate me for this one, and somebody else said they nominated me for this other category, and then the categories were removed.
So we just saying it should be an award for that, right?
Yeah.
Because
I'm gonna keep on grinding though.
No, because in all fairness,
I'm the only one doing what I'm doing.
That's
right
what I was going
now.
to say. So let's take say I wanted to be in a category and I told the whole everybody in Kansas City nominate me for because I really make these really nice.
Like new actress or something like
anything.
That. Yeah.
And then people was like, it ain't enough competition. Nobody else do. So they might drop the category, but they should give me an award for being recognized in a unique category. And that'd be a good award.
Because I caught the acting bug, so I'm looking at a couple more roles.
So you don't have best actress on there no more?
No, they removed the whole category. Exactly.
Yeah,
I thought that was interesting.
Because acting is a wide, it's a wide lane, so there should be a lot of actresses on there.
It really should. So, all right. Well, this interview isn't about me; it's about you. What have you done to pivot in your time off?
So I fell in love with real estate a few years ago. It was like the only thing I ever done in my life that I was like
good at.
The money turnover was like, oh man, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I would ever get a check like this for other than rapping. Or, when I was younger, I thought it'd be for basketball or something. But I didn't never put my mind to. There's a lot of other shit you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like you can really get rich. And not saying I'm rich, but my company, you can look up people's company and see how much money they made last year and everything. That's all out there.
You want to name drop the name of your company?
Patrick Byers Group LLC. Actually started this, and you'll be impressed by what you see. All right. So I fell in love with real estate, and in between that time, I was still bouncing back and forth. I gotta get this music, so I can do this, but I had to get to a point where I realized that's not the only thing I do. It's a lot of stuff I want to do. I even want to get on stage and try stand-up comedy one day.
Yeah?
I think I can get away with it.
You think you can? Okay.
I think I could do it.
They got open mic nights.
And everybody in my family and friends been telling me, I thought you was going to do it. Let's go to the open mic. So when I get drunk enough one night, we're going to do it.
Okay. All right.
So because of that house shit, I've been into electricity lately. And people be like, when did you ever like electricity? Well, a lot of people don't know. One of my grandpa's sons, my uncle, his name is Larry, he was an electrician. He did it for years, part of the union and everything. I got a cousin, John. He did it for a long time. He's closer to my age, but I'm watching him spend money more than my favorite rappers. He got his own company. He's living great. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about, he got a swimming pool to slide in the back of his house. Great. So I started looking at that like, dang, maybe it's something I might be interested in. I just like money. But actually, when I started, getting involved, I'm like, this is beneficial. I can wire up my own houses, buildings when I get into commercial. It's a good skill to know. And you always want to stay sharp. You don't ever want to. I got to a point where I didn't even know. Let's take working out, for example. Yeah. I got to a point where I couldn't do push-ups. And all my life, I was a skinny dude in the classroom that could do a bunch of them. You know what I mean?
Well, you can't do push-ups.
I got to a point that I was just starting to get lazy. I wasn't working out no more. I thought because I was skinny, I was still in shape. I wasn't playing ball. I was just rapping, doing drugs, and making music. You know what I'm saying? Just living a young life. My cousin one time had me do some push-ups. We went to the gym together, and I could barely do 3. And I'm telling him, hold on, man. Something like, hold on.
I could do 3.
I'm not doing it right. Give me a second. I'm trying to, I can't get it. And it's like, damn. So I started working out. I took myself from there. Now I'm bench pressing at the max. It's 315 pounds. That took me a long time to get to that point, but I finally did it. So, like, saying that to say, you cannot be sharp on anything. Writing, if you stop writing, you'll fall off. If you stop doing math, you'll fall off.
That's true.
So I got to stay sharp. And I think trades and everything, that stuff like that should be preached more to the young community, the young generation of community, because we thought trades was like we was too good for them.
I know we had discussed providing better lives for our children than what we experienced as kids. So
my kids are good, man. Sometimes I think they might get left. I seen my parents still together. Okay. So, I didn't miss out. My parents didn't miss out on a lot of my life. But since me and my kids are in different houses and they visit me on the weekends and things like that or through the week, I think they might get a little less of me physically than I did of my parents.
Okay.
But they living better lives.
Okay.
I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
They're living better lives than me.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we did mention that you're one of the bigger artists in Kansas City, or now it's from Kansas City, because they do play you in other cities.
Yeah.
And I know that that also puts you in a category of big names, and people have thought that you were tied to other people when you are not.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So since you know what I'm talking about, let's do that. Let's do that. I like your idea of these topics that we can talk about.
At the beginning, let's shout out, Third Wall Entertainment first of all. First and foremost, there would be no Marley Young. I say this now in a lot of my recent interviews, but I didn't thank them enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I watch or just look back out of the body and look at my career, should have gave them dudes way more, not respect, because I always give respect, just way more of a, took what I had and used the light to put it more on the situation and how good they was to me. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Ron C, shout out Duke, and RIP to Code. But that's where I started. That was the only contract that I've ever signed. Take that back, I'm about to lie. That was the first contract I've ever signed when I was actually with a label. Okay. So they got me out here. They the reason for the Gucci Man and Rich the Factor skirt when I scraped the size up. Okay. They got my name going. They was responsible for shit. When I met them, my name wasn't even Marley Young. When I met them, I had a whole different rap name. What? I was Slick P.
Shut up. I didn't even know that you ever had another name.
My brother, you wouldn't know from that because they were the first album I put out. You know what I mean? So my brother had gave me that name. But as we was getting older and times was changing, me and my homeboys was like, you definitely got to find a better name than that. You know what I mean? Like, that ain't going to work. So, and then Slick Killer comes out. Jeezy's best friend, start rapping around. But, we got to get it.
I got to flex on him. Pull up and flex on him. Just got to check on him. I want to flex on him. Pull up and flex on him. Just got to check on him. I wanna flex on him, pull up flex on him, just gotta check on him. I wanna flex on him, pull up flex on him, just gotta check on him. I went to sex on him, I spit the bag on him, tell him to kill her, hey, before I put the cap on him.